Well, to discuss whether the public should wear face coverings, I'm now joined by Senior Consultant in Communicable Disease Control, Dr. Bharat Pankania. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us. Of course, at first we were told face masks weren't useful, and now we're told that they are. So a lot of mixed messages coming from the government.
Yes, but if you think about it, in a crowded place where social distancing is impossible, such as the tube train, the buses, the crowded platforms, the supermarkets, what can we do? We can add an extra layer of protection by covering the secretions that come from our nose and mouth and holding them back in the mask. And that's the idea of covering your nose and mouth so that you don't infect other people in your immediate vicinity.
Of course, we see a lot of people wandering around with masks anyway, not in crowded spaces. Would you actually preferably see people wearing masks all the time, whether they're in crowded situations or not?
Scientifically speaking, the issue is we don't want to create new cases, and the new cases are generated in that crowded situation. So on the bus, the train, the supermarket, where other people are mingling near you, masks. Out in the open, when you're exercising, walking in the streets, I think its utility is minimal, and therefore I wouldn't want to enforce that.
And masks can be uncomfortable, of course, can't they? So people often touch their faces to adjust them. So perhaps does that pose even more of a danger?
No, but what we need to do is be careful that we have a covering around our mouth, and always, as we've clearly articulated, that hand hygiene is not now secondary because we're wearing a mask. You continue with your infection control, you continue with timetabled regular hand washing, and when you can't wash your hands, you use the hand gel. And that way you're protecting your hands from introducing germs to your nose and mouth, and at the same time the mask is, in case you are infected, you are not passing it on to others.
How should we be getting hold of effective masks? Because, of course, there's a huge pressure on the NHS at the moment. So could the government's advice lead to a shortage in facial protection?
No, I would say this is the time to get fashionable at this very miserable and worrying and depressing times. So people are very artistic and very smart. So I'm looking forward to very smart, very cheerful, make me smile type homemade masks. What we want is an absorbent layer on the inside, so it soaks up all the secretions, and on the outside we want it to be water repellent and a tight weave to protect things coming your way.
OK, so what sort of material are you talking about then? Because the government's saying you could actually cut up a T-shirt and use that. You
could, but on the outside, to be truthful, I would prefer a more tight weave, waterproof type covering rather than just a T-shirt. The T-shirt type thing could be on the inside layer.
Now, is the government endorsing face masks to encourage us to get back to work? It's more of a safety blanket.
I think it is a bit of both, and my view is that even with the shutdown, people had to go shopping and do things, and some people had to go to work on the public transport, and we should have been wearing masks in those circumstances. And I would say, whether you go back to work or not, wherever you are in a crowded situation, wear that mask to protect yourself and to protect your other fellow human beings.
And that advice really helps those who are very fearful of going back to work, of course. People are extremely worried to go out in the open, but if they follow your advice, then they should be less afraid.
I hope so, and really we need to sort of keep that measured approach to what to do. And that measured approach is, look, I want you to look after yourself. So protect yourself, keep your hands clean, don't go around touching things, and wear that protection. And that may just about give you an added level of confidence to go to work.